Okay, so you've heard of job boards, and you've probably even had to, like, fix up your resume a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
But have you ever thought about AI being like, your secret weapon in
Yeah.
getting a job? Well, that's what RoleCatcher says they do.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea behind it. And today, we're really going to dig into their website,
Absolutely.
all their little guides and stuff, and even how the platform works to see if it's legit.
Yeah, it's wild how they're all about this whole, like, beat the robot recruiter thing.
Right.
Their website is, like, made for a world where computers are the ones deciding who even gets looked at.
I know. It kind of freaks me out, that whole automated recruiter thing.
Yeah.
It's like straight out of a movie where a robot is just scanning your resume
Totally.
and like giving you a thumbs up or down, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But then RoleCatcher's all like, don't worry, we speak robot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they get it.
Yeah,
They're saying just applying to everything online without thinking about it.
right.
It's
Yeah,
basically pointless. Most people just get stuck doing that forever.
yeah.
Totally. And RoleCatcher is saying they can change that.
So instead of just blindly hitting apply on everything,
Right.
how does RoleCatcher actually help you stand out?
Well,
There's this
yeah.
board view thing I saw, and it sounded kind of interesting,
Yeah.
but I wasn't really sure what it was.
Okay, so think about it this way. You've got like 1 million job applications open.
Always.
Right. And each one has its own due date, and then you have the contact info.
Oh, know me about it.
And you probably have all these random notes.
Sticky notes everywhere.
RoleCatcher's board view is like this super organized assistant for your job hunt.
Huh.
It brings all that stuff together so you don't have to juggle it all.
So instead of 15 tabs and sticky notes all over my desk,
Right.
I can just have it all in RoleCatcher.
Yep. Exactly. That's the idea.
Sign me up.
It's all about making applying to jobs easier, keeping track of everything.
Right.
So you don't miss those important details.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's talk about the big thing here, the algorithm everyone's talking about. They brag about this AI-powered CV builder.
Yeah.
Is it just a fancy spell check, or is something actually happening behind the scenes?
It's way more than a spell check. It's like having a code breaker.
Okay.
For job descriptions, it looks at the skills you need and tells you exactly what the employer wants to see.
Wow.
So you can tailor your resume to match perfectly.
So it's like RoleCatcher's giving you a cheat sheet, but instead of just giving you the answers,
Right.
it's saying, here's how to get the answers.
Exactly. Here's an example. Let's say you have tons of experience managing projects, which is perfect for this job you want,
Okay.
but maybe you haven't used those exact words on your resume,
Oh.
like Agile or Scrum.
Oh, yeah, all the buzzwords.
Exactly. RoleCatcher will point that out to you and suggest ways to add those words naturally.
Wow, okay.
So then the computer or even the person looking at your resume can see that you actually have those skills.
That's really specific. That could be life-changing for people who are really good at what they do.
Yeah.
But they just don't know how to make it sound good on paper.
Right.
It's like having a translator for all those confusing job applications.
Exactly. And it gets even better. They don't stop at just fixing up your resume.
Okay.
They say they have a huge database of interview questions.
Okay.
Get this. Over 120,000 of them.
120,000 interview questions. That is a lot. Even if they're organized by job, that's a lot of information.
It's a lot.
How do they even make that manageable?
Well, that's where their system is actually pretty cool.
Okay.
You can search by what you do, what skills you have, or even the company you're interviewing with.
Okay.
But here's the really cool part. They have AI-powered interview practice.
Wait, so you're telling me that AI can analyze how I'm saying things too?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about this, because this is getting good.
So you record yourself answering practice questions,
Okay.
and if you pay for their co-pilot thing,
Okay.
their AI looks at how you're doing and gives you feedback on things you wouldn't even think about.
Okay, now you're messing with me.
Ugh.
Is this AI seriously going to analyze my body language through my webcam?
Well,
What if it hates my interview power pose
yeah.
I've been practicing?
Well, I don't know about your power pose, but RoleCatcher says they can tell how you're holding yourself.
Really?
The tone of voice, even if you're talking too fast.
That's both really cool and kind of scary at the same time.
Right.
It's like having your own personal interview coach,
Totally.
but maybe a little less judgmental.
It could really change the game for some people.
Yeah,
Think about it. You could finally figure out all those little nervous habits you have
that's true.
and fix them before the actual interview.
Okay, now I have to know more about this Copilot thing. Is it a one-time thing? Do you pay monthly? What is it?
We'll get to all that.
Okay.
But it basically comes down to this. Is it worth it?
Right. Because job hunting's already stressful enough
Exactly.
without having to spend a bunch of money.
Right. Well, we'll dive into all the details about Copilot and whether or not it's worth your money in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm hooked. Okay. So we know RoleCatcher can help with resumes and interviews.
Yeah.
But what about actually figuring out what kind of job you want?
Right.
That's where these RoleCatcher career guides come in, right?
Exactly. And let me tell you, these are not your average job descriptions. They've got a guide for everything.
Really?
I'm serious. I saw everything from like footwear production technician to AI ethicist.
Wow. That's a pretty big range. It's like they have every job you can think of.
It's impressive.
Yeah. And you're right, most job descriptions are kind of boring.
Oh, yeah.
So what makes these guides different?
Let's stick with that footwear production technician example.
Okay.
Instead of just saying what you do in general,
Right.
they break it down by how long you've been doing it.
Okay.
So you can see what someone who's just starting out does
Right.
compared to someone with 5 years of experience or even someone in a management role.
So it's less about how many years you've worked and more about what you actually do during those years.
Exactly. And to help you even more, they show you examples of real people.
Really?
Yeah, at different stages in their career.
That's really helpful.
So you can see what skills they have.
Right.
What they struggle with, how they've moved up in their career.
It's like getting a sneak peek into different career paths.
That's a great way to put it.
You can actually see what your future might look like
Exactly.
if you chose that career.
And don't forget, this all ties back into the interview stuff.
Oh, right.
Remember all those interview questions?
How could I forget? 120,000 of them.
Right. Well, the career guides actually show you which questions are most likely to come up for each job.
So if I'm getting ready for that footwear production technician interview,
Yeah.
I can see exactly what they might ask me.
That's the idea.
It's like having a personalized study guide for your dream job.
That's a great way to think about it. And the best part,
What's that?
all of this, the career guides, the resume builder,
Right.
even those interview questions,
Yeah.
it's all free.
Really? That's a lot of free stuff.
Right. But it makes you wonder,
Okay.
are they saving the really good stuff?
You mean?
For people who pay for the Copilot thing?
Yeah. Is it worth it to pay extra for those premium features?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Because job hunting is already expensive enough.
Right. You've got to think about your budget.
Yeah.
How much you think you'll actually use those extra features.
Okay.
And how serious you are about finding a job.
True. It's a balancing act.
Exactly.
But I can see how for someone who's been trying to find a job for a while,
Oh, yeah.
or maybe they keep getting rejected by those algorithms,
Right?
that Copilot thing could be a lifesaver.
It could be. And remember, they let you try it for a week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you can see if you like it.
Okay, so far we've got the board view for organizing everything.
Right.
The AI resume builder,
Yeah.
the interview questions, the career guides. Is there anything else about RoleCatcher we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, we haven't gotten to their skills gap analysis. It's a big part of how they improve your resume.
And it's actually pretty cool, right? The skills gap analysis, that's the thing that tells you what the job wants that maybe you haven't put on your resume, right?
It's like having someone who knows exactly what they're doing helping you out.
Okay.
They look at the job description, they look at your resume, and they're like, hey, you forgot to mention this.
Which, let's be honest, we all do that sometimes.
Yeah.
We think, oh, they'll know what I mean, or it's obvious I have that skill.
Right.
But computers aren't that smart. They need you to spell it out for them.
Exactly. And that's where RoleCatcher can be really helpful.
Okay.
It's all about using the right words,
Right.
making sure you're saying what the company wants to hear.
It's like dressing up for an interview.
Exactly.
You wouldn't wear a swimsuit to a job interview, right?
Exactly.
You got to wear the right thing.
You got it.
So RoleCatcher is like the stylist telling you what to wear
That's a great way to put it.
to make sure you make a good impression.
Because job hunting can feel so impersonal these days.
Totally.
Like no one even looks at your resume. It's all just computers.
Right. And this is where RoleCatcher is different, right?
It is. It's like they're saying, hey, we know you're more than just a list of skills.
Yeah.
We're going to help you show everyone what you're really capable of.
It's all about beating those robots, right?
It is.
Making sure your application actually gets seen by a human.
Exactly, because it's easy to feel like technology is working against us.
Oh, totally.
But RoleCatcher is showing us that we can use technology to our advantage.
It's like they're leveling the playing field.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up here, what's the most important thing for our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think it's this. If you're feeling lost in the job search world,
Which a lot of us are.
don't give up.
Yeah.
There are tools out there like RoleCatcher that can help you figure it all out.
Right, they can give you some really valuable advice.
Exactly, and maybe even give you an advantage over everyone else.
But at the end of the day, it's still up to you.
Oh,
You
yeah.
still got to put in the work.
Absolutely. No tool can replace that.
RoleCatcher just makes the work a little bit easier.
Exactly.
Well said. Well, to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and job hunting.
We hope you learned a lot.
And if you decide to try out RoleCatcher, let us know what you think.
We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, happy job hunting.